It's time to fight your battles so you can win your war with God and the Bible. Welcome to God's Bible Bread Devotionals channel. Today, I've put together a video about the prophet Elijah, which is suitable for all ages. Are you up for the challenge of showcasing how well-versed you are in his story? But hold on a second before we jump into the story. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your likes and subscriptions play a crucial role in helping me share the teachings of the Bible with a wider audience. And after you've completed the video, be sure to drop a comment below to let me know what you learned you didn't know before. The miraculous tales of Elijah, unveiling the divine adventures from the Bible. Step into the amazing world of biblical tales and uncover the exciting adventures of the prophet Elijah. Elijah's story is full of miracles and shows God's great power and grace. He lived through tough times, faced bad kings, and always showed strong faith in God. From ravens bringing him food to calling down fire from heaven, each miracle shows God's power and love. Join us on this journey as we learn about Elijah's life, where faith meets miracles. Let's dive into the incredible events of Elijah's life and discover lessons that still matter today. Get ready to be amazed by these miraculous tales and see God's power in action. Elijah's story is full of exciting moments, like when he faced King Ahab and the prophets of Baal. The land was suffering from drought and famine. Elijah, guided by God, confronted the king and the false prophets to show that the Lord is the true God. Elijah challenged them to a contest to prove whose God was real. He said to the people, "If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him." The people were torn between Baal and the true God. Elijah stood tall and confident. He prepared a sacrifice and prayed to God. Fire came down from heaven and consumed the sacrifice, proving that the Lord is the one true God. The people were amazed and declared, "The Lord, He is God." Even during tough times, God took care of Elijah. When the land was dry and there was no food, God sent ravens to bring Elijah food while he stayed by the brook Cherith. When the brook dried up, God led Elijah to a town called Zarephath. There, he met a widow and her son who were about to run out of food. Elijah asked for some bread, promising that God would provide. The widow trusted him, and their small supply of flour and oil never ran out during the famine. When Queen Jezebel wanted to harm Elijah, he fled into the wilderness. An angel appeared and gave him food and water, strengthening him for his journey. These miracles showed God's care for Elijah, even in hard times. One of the most touching stories of Elijah's life is his meeting with the widow of Zarephath. During a terrible drought, Elijah asked the widow for some water and bread. She told him she only had enough for one last meal for her and her son. Elijah told her not to worry. He promised that God would make sure her flour and oil would not run out until the drought ended. The widow trusted Elijah, and just as he said, their food never ran out. This miracle showed that when we trust in God, He provides for our needs in amazing ways. Elijah also faced the prophets of Asherah. King Ahab and Queen Jezebel had led the people to worship Asherah, a false god. Elijah challenged these prophets to prove their gods were real. They gathered on Mount Carmel for a contest. The prophets of Asherah prayed and called out, but nothing happened. Elijah then prayed to God, and fire came down from heaven, burning up his sacrifice. The people saw this and declared, "The Lord, He is God." This powerful moment turned the people's hearts back to God. Elijah's journey to Mount Horeb was a turning point. Queen Jezebel wanted to kill him, so he fled into the wilderness. Feeling tired and alone, Elijah prayed for God to take his life. Instead, God sent an angel to give him food and water. Elijah traveled to Mount Horeb, the same mountain where Moses had met God. There, God showed His power through a strong wind, an earthquake, and a fire. But God wasn't in any of these. Instead, He spoke to Elijah in a gentle whisper. This taught Elijah that God is not only in the big, powerful events, but also in the quiet moments. As Elijah's life was coming to an end, God told him to anoint Elisha as his successor. Elijah found Elisha working in a field and threw his cloak over him, showing that Elisha would take over his mission. Elisha left everything behind to follow Elijah. This showed his commitment to God's call. Elijah mentored Elisha, and when it was time for Elijah to leave, Elisha was ready to continue the work. The end of Elijah's earthly life was marked by a miraculous event. As he and Elisha walked together, a chariot of fire appeared, and Elijah was taken up to heaven in a whirlwind. Elisha watched in awe as his mentor ascended to heaven. This moment showed God's special favor on Elijah and the continuation of his work through Elisha. Elijah's life and ministry left a lasting impact. His unwavering faith, boldness, and miracles continue to inspire believers. Elisha, who received Elijah's spirit, performed many miracles and continued the prophetic mission. Elijah's story also influenced other prophets, like John the Baptist, who came in the spirit and power of Elijah. Elijah's life reminds us of the power of faith and the importance of following God's call. Elijah's story teaches us many lessons. His faith in God, even in hard times, shows us the importance of trusting in God's provision and protection. His prayers and miracles remind us of the power of prayer and God's ability to do the impossible. Elijah's mentorship of Elisha shows the value of passing on wisdom and preparing the next generation to continue God's work. Finally, Elijah's ascension to heaven gives us hope in the eternal nature of God's kingdom. By learning from Elijah's life, we can be inspired to live with faith, courage, and a deep trust in God. His story encourages us to believe that with God, all things are possible. Thank you for watching this video about the prophet Elijah. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Share your thoughts and what you learned in the comments below. Stay blessed and keep growing in faith.